Sridevi ma'am,
It will take
you
some
told
time.
something. Your voice is breaking, ma'am.
It will take some time, Harita. Just
Okay, ma'am. Okay, we are waiting, ma'am. Soma, you can turn off your video.
If I turn off again, I have a login problem. So I'll just try, okay?
yeah, you are live. You are live actually.
Okay.
Carry on, Harita.
Good morning, one and all. A warm welcome to My Katha, where stories dance. My Katha is the place for stories and poems. It is your place where you can share your stories and poems. It was founded 1 year before by Meera Bharat, and last week we completed 1 year of Maya Katha, and we had a festival, Mayotsava, where we celebrated stories and a lot of storytellers participated in it. Thank you everyone for participating in it and listening to us. And this April is National Poetry Month, and we are celebrating poetry in this whole month. And today is the 100th day of the year 2021. And also, as we all know, in Maya Katha, we are doing 365 days of poetries and stories. So it also marks the 100th day of stories and poetries in Maya Katha. So we thought of celebrating the day in a special way, and we have invited poets to do a live connect with us. And we have a wonderful bunch of poets who have joined us today. And please stay tuned. We have a lot of poems flowing through us in this next 1 hour. And to begin with, we have Soma Mukherjee. Soma Mukherjee is from Bangalore. She is a model, actor, corporate trainer, writer. She has also won Miss Karnataka Inner Beauty contest. She is a super mom, and she has won many beauty pageants. She also won many awards in different fields. Soma Mukherjee, can you just tell us a poem?
Thanks so much. I am delighted to be here today. And before I start being a corporate trainer, I find always writing a bit motivational things. And I wrote this today morning for all of you. I hope it encourages anybody and everyone to be sunflower in their lives. So here it goes. Be a sunflower. I felt melancholic and I felt sad. I felt my life is so bad. Suddenly, I saw a bunch of sunflowers on my windowsill and some across the hills. They danced in the breeze as the wind murmured around the trees. As they soaked the warmth of the sun, they cared two hoots about anyone. They taught me a lesson of life, spread the joy and the warmth, fight the storms, and win your life. Face the wind, breathe the storms, radiate with inner glow. Let your inner happiness flow. Look up in the sky, keep your spirits high. Weather up all the storms, beat the stereotypes and the norms. Be yourself, be soulful, be your own. Don't be a random or don't be unknown. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today. It was lovely listening to you. Next, we have Suja Ram. She's a homemaker by choice. She also facilitates spoken English classes for underprivileged middle school children in her spare time. She took to writing poetry during the lockdown in 2020 after attending an online workshop on how movement facilitated writing. And she has won an online poetry slam event at Rhythmic Affair conducted in Jan 2020. Sujama, can you please tell us a poem?
Yeah, thank you so much for the beautiful intro. Thank you, Stories by Maya Katha. Maya Katha with Stories Dance. I'm very happy to be part of this 100th day celebrations. So I'll be reciting 3 self-composed poems. The first one is on poetry itself, what poetry means to me. Poetry is a journey of sorts, fueled by a train of thoughts. The ride is bumpy when I am grumpy. The ride is euphoric when I am comic. It is an art in motion to express my emotion. Writing poems sets me free from the thoughts that hold me. It is a canvas so colorful and bright that everything seems right. It is a sneak peek into myself, a book freak, who is at times so meek. Poetry is a release when I experience a sense of unease to keep my mind at peace. The second one is one titled The Wonder Woman. She comes into the world with a powerful cry, announcing her presence, lest others fail to notice her. All through her life, at every milestone, she stops to pat her back and claps for herself, not waiting for others to acknowledge her feats. There's nothing she can't do better than her counterparts, yet she never flaunts, rather takes a back seat and lets her deeds do the talking. She's the nurturer and caregiver in the family, giving birth to new mindsets, uplifting others along the way, instilling strong bonds of connection among her tribe. She marches ahead with a spring in her step and her head held high, spraying the fragrance of positivity that blooms from her persona in the lives of everyone who crosses her path. She faces every examination, physical, academic, and mental, with equanimity and poise, and marches with her brood, proud of her failures, making them the stepping stones to success and to teach her little ones life's lessons. She takes part in every parade for a cause not so queer, but to cheer her near and dear. She looks beyond the limitations afflicted naturally or by circumstance and marches past the barriers right into their hearts. She doesn't wait for the year to end to finalize her accounts and weigh the profits and losses. Rather, she counts her blessings and increases her net worth every single day, a very tangible asset in every sense of the term. She is the woman I look up to. She is the woman I aspire to be, marching ahead of her times, taking everything and everyone in her stride. The last one is a short one titled Race. It's an inspirational poem. Raise your hand not to strike your child, but to strike the anger wild. Raise your voice not to show your might, but to speak up for what is right. Raise your bar not to ace the rat race, but to meet success with grace. Raise your child not to fit into a mold, but to let the beauty unfold. Raise yourself not to look down upon others, but to give them feathers, to float, to fly, and to soar. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for joining us today. It was for sure inspirational. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Next, we have Aparna Suresh. She is an author, translator, and a great lover of literature. She has presented numerous papers in the national and international conferences and published papers in UGC approved journals. She has given guest lectures at various colleges and is invited as a resource person. Her poetry is since published in the collection of Speck of a Soul in 2019. She has edited, compiled, and co-authored Painting Dreams, an anthology of poems in 2020. Her poems are featured in various anthologies. Aparna Suresh, can you please join us in the poem?
I'm visible and audible, right?
Yes, Aparna, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mayakatha, for this lovely platform. You're creating so much of hope and positivity during this challenging time. And my prayers to Meera too. I'd like to recite few poems, 3 to 4 small poems, which is written by me, and I have just given it for various journals. It is not published yet regarding copyrights. Everything is written by me. First one is Reminiscence. It's titled Reminiscence. Here it goes. In the midst of a crowd, a name is called, invoking memories, filling pages of history, varying shades of emotions, recollecting a random happiness, a straying comfort and care, a serrated bitterness, few act, many mismatch, vouching smile, provoking anger, betraying and stabbing as grabbing the life of Caesar, betraying and stabbing as grabbing the life of Caesar, hot as an ember, cautious not to utter, but name's closest breath, it sailing far away in time, breezy as wind, found and lost in the event of life, wherever we travel, holding stories, names, or a reminiscence. So here ends the first poem. The second poem is about depression. Depression is one thing which we just dare to discuss in public platform. So I'd like to just put it forward here, and I have titled it as Slithering. Here it goes. Dozing off, a sign of tiresome day, pushing to maximum, expecting sleep in exchange. Treasured slumbers are rare, eluding glooms and worries, delving deep into Elysium. Demons of mind occupy the stage. Demons of the mind occupy the stage, thoughts leading to depression. Battle between mind and spirit, war between body and soul. Battle between mind and spirit, war between body and soul. Who could be the victor? Who could be the victim? Conscious diversions, shortcuts, and cheat meals are just momentary myths. Sleep slithers away quietly, like the Satan after seduction. Sleep slithers away quietly, like the Satan after seduction, disquieting the being, pushing purpose of life to mire, disembarking the sense of existence. Anyways, eternal sleep is liberation. Let us stay awake. The third one is it's okay. Like we do so many things in life, but it's okay. Mistakes are a part of life. So here it goes. Mistakes are made universally. Learning is throughout life. Don't define yourself by the errors. They are painters of your portrait. Let us not hurt others. Can I continue? Shall I continue?
Ma'am, can you please mute yourself? Yes. Aparna, please proceed. Sorry.
Okay. Mistakes are made universally. Learning is throughout life. Don't define yourself by the errors. They are painters of your portrait. Let us not hurt others. Chant that makes us human. A simple truth to be in terms. Let us not hurt ourselves too. Walk past the pains and rejections. It's human to err and learn. It's normal to have heartbreaks. To build a stronger heart, failure the greatest teacher. Adversity, a sweetest acquaintance. Preaching values of life, stick around people of your tribe. Best of all, stick with your own soul. Live while you live and die only while you live. Until then, inhale this blessing called as life. The final one is Totem of Tulips. It is a tribute to nature. It is a sonnet. I have just structured it like a sonnet, a 14-line poem. Here it goes. Slumber by fall, awakened by spring, versatile and vibrant, colorful pool, flamboyant from winter's drabbing, sweltering summer sorbet and cool. Family of lily features elegance, swaying beneath the blue yonder, rapturing red emblem of romance, red tulips house hearts in wonder, bulbs igniting the graceful garden, blooming with passionate beauty, flowers consoling the grief-laden, purple tulips, testimonies of royalty, serenity swapping chaotic terrain, swaying to the melodies of nature, sunset pad with peace remain, yellow tulips bring hope to future, symbol of soulful belonging, adored by dead and living. Thank you for the opportunity.
Wonderful, Aparna. Thank you for joining us today. It indeed had strong messages to us. Thanks a lot. Next, we have Lalita Subramaniam, ma'am. She is a freelance journalist and author of 5 books. She has written a latest collection called On the Krishna Trail, which was released last month. Her passion is writing. Apart from writing, she engages herself with good quality time with her family, traveling, and fine arts. Moreover, she wants to say that she enjoys being a grandmother of her 4 lovely grandchildren. Lalita, ma'am, can you please tell us a poem? Thank you, ma'am.
There is some disturbance, Harita.
No, ma'am, it's clear. You can go ahead.
Okay. This is, let me first thank Maya Katha for this opportunity. I'm reciting a poem written by me just for this session. It is about nature's cry. It is about nature's lament because her trees and her forests are being denuded. So the poem goes, her beloved verdant trees tremble and fall, leaving in its wake a sad trail of destruction. Mother Earth weeps as she knows all that is left for children of the next generation. She shudders as the forests diminish with time, eroding her wealth and rendering a virtual shock. Her scents are missing, and so are the sounds that chime as animals and birds wander away with their flock. Tsunamis, floods, and drought are her warning signs of impending doom and receding shorelines. Is global warming not enough to remind that our joyful tryst with nature will be hard to find? It's time to declare our love and hold our earth in a tender clasp and our ways amend, to show a strong will to transcend every hurdle to nature befriend. Thank you.
Thank you, Lalita, ma'am. Thanks for joining us today. Next, we have Aditi Lahiri. She is an English and French language teacher. She is passionate about writing poems, short stories, and storytelling. She does storytelling in Bengali and English language. Aditi, can you please join us?
Hi, I hope I'm visible.
Yes, Aditi, you're visible. Yeah. You're audible.
Hello. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thanks for making me, giving me this wonderful opportunity to recite some of my poems, which I wish to present at the platform, the prestigious platform of Maya Katha once again. So I start with the first. The first poem is A Bard's Delight. The blossoms of spring is a bard's delight. It makes our soul and spirit leap in joy. The delightful sight of sunflower radiantly smiling gives the bard enough hope for the revival of the spirit, which is sometimes lying dormant, unable to catch floating thoughts. A bard's delight comes with his thoughts being given a concrete shape. The spring hues of marigold blooms blossoms in his poetry. The raindrops of monsoon brings the dancing peacock's imagery reflect in the bard's poetry. A delightful sight for young and old. A bard's delight is reflected best when the readers applaud relating to their happiness portion. After they have read through pages of poetry and found a new delight in each piece, a new leash to live a new day instead of grumbling over past losses each moment. The other poem that I'm going to recite speaks about the power of women. This was published in the Women a Symbol of Power on 8th March anthology by the Crit Space Journals. The power of women. Women are the creators. They are the storehouse of dreams. Women have the power to rise like phoenix. They are flexible to adjust to their ambience. They are the source of inspiration. Each woman perform various roles. The power of women has rarely been explored. Give each woman the right to keep themselves expressed. They have a power to guide each other. Don't ignore them or keep them their voice suppressed. The power of women, it's time to explore completely. Give them wings to create their niche beyond the realm of the ordinary. Thank you everyone for listening to me.
Thank you, Aditi, for joining us today. We enjoyed your poems. Next, we have Venkat Balantrapu, sir. He's a poet by passion. He's high performance coach, life coach, career coach. He's an insurance consultant and author. And he prefers writing poems on the theme inspiration. He draws inspiration from his own work. We welcome you, sir. Venkat, sir. Please share us a poem.
Thank you, Harita, and I hope I can be seen and heard.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We can see.
I would like to begin by thanking Mayakatha for giving me this platform, because I will also take just a few seconds to add a little bit about myself, because there is a reason behind that. I have come out of a very successful global corporate career of more than 34 years, having worked in 7 countries in the insurance field. But something has always been bugging me, that without sharing and adding value from my own exposure and experience, I will not be doing justice to whatever I have achieved in my life. So I always believed 2 things are very necessary for us to live the life we are supposed to live. One is constant learning and constant marching ahead, because I have seen that career is something and there are other things which are different from career. Like I am also a professional singer. I am a corporate trainer. I write on international cricket. I am a golfer, and I compete in 4 or other competitive sports as well. The reason I'm saying this is our life is limitless. And if you don't exploit it to the full, we are not doing justice. And the last addition to my adventures is my life has taken a poetic turn in the last 1 year actually. And I'm very happy to present these specific poems because I want to make a positive difference in people's lives. And I have come with 3 poems. Yes, I will recite 2. And the third, they are not very long. Third, if time and Harita permit, I'll go ahead with the third one also. So I think I can begin now. The first one is about defeat. We always face defeat in our life, which can be seen as a biggest obstacle. That is the checkpost where we give up in life. So my take on defeat is, life is a journey embarked upon with the destination unknown. No room for defeat, but dreams and aspirations very well sown. Looking forward to many years ahead, filled with only joy and fun. You are the pilot aiming high in life and a passenger to none. At times when you see your destination is still quite far away, you step on the gas in panic, scared of defeat along the way. When you experience ups and downs due to life's turbulence, you remain undefeated, seeking your dream life par excellence. If things are still the same, taking you to the very brink of defeat. You just mend your ways till you are swiftly back on your feet. If you are aware, you are not just dumped, but a bag full of talent. You find your path and your legacy, never defeated to lament. Do not worry when you mess up in life to lose, as it is a lesson. If you remain focused to learn, your defeat will surely lessen. Every day from the start to finish, you dream of many a feat. Trust your belief as it will steer you away from many a defeat. So this is my first one. And naturally, whenever there is defeat, I recommend and I myself follow that we keep marching ahead. So the second poem is all about marching ahead. And incidentally, all these poems are written by myself. In life, when we are stuck with many a mistake we all make, we somehow march ahead with not one, but many a take. Quite often, we keep living with not one, but many a regret. We learn from them, and marching ahead, we never forget. With every step, we do stumble and fall, as and when we trip. Before we rise up, marching ahead with the strongest grip. Fears and failures keep holding us back from what we want. Confidently, we march ahead, never allowing them to haunt. He is the one who guides us, with our fate well in his hands. Holding the master key, he is the Almighty who understands. He knows everything, and he is truly our most trusted friend, pushing us to march ahead, though life is with many a bend. Most of the times in life, we do get signals with many a light. If red is to stop, life is evergreen, if we can march ahead right. So this is my second poem. And once we start marching with confidence, we can actually jump ahead. So Harita, if I have your permission, I'll just conclude with this short poem.
So
May I
please
go
go
ahead?
ahead.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
sir.
The third one is called Jump. So if you want to really make a big mark in your life, just marching ahead is not going to be enough, because many of us keep marching ahead always. That is where you need a push. When I talk of push, we need a jump. Your life is a trip where you do cross many a bump. Routes dark and steep, warranting the highest jump. Daylight peeps out from the east when the sun rises. Happily, you jump out of your bed, seeking surprises. A smile here and a tear there are parts of every day, which, if they go to your head, you get carried away. Once in a blue moon, you are elated and enlightened. You jump in joy for a while before you are quietened. Quite often, you are delivered many a bagful of sorrow. These are the unwanted gifts you will never even borrow. If your day is hit by not one, but many a severe storm, don't jump to conclusions, but handle them as a norm. Keep your doors open for the ones with many a pain. Do not rise, but jump to the occasion, and you will gain. Be grateful forever for things which are thrown at you. Jump or leap to catch many a surprise hidden for you. Seize all your chances and become the most sought, as life is just a rudderless boat, sans any battle fought. Take the jump of your life, in whose glory you will bask, before what is within your grasp becomes an uphill task. So thank you very much. And I would like to wish best to each one of you in your respective lives. Thank you, Maya Katha, once again.
Thank you, Venkat sir, for joining us today. We thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks
Thank
a lot. It did had great messages in it. Quite motivational for us. Thank you, sir. Next, we have Chandra Sudeep. Chandra Sudeep is a writer, poet, and a blogger. Most of her stories revolve around social issues. She pens her thoughts with the dream of igniting a change. Her words have found a home at wordsopedia.com. She would be reciting a Hindi poem written by Gopal Das, titled Neeraj. Chandra, can you join us today?
Yes. Hi Harita. Good morning everybody. आज मैं आप सबके सामने एक कविता प्रस्तुत कर रही हूँ जो लिखी है पद्मश्री डॉक्टर गोपाल दास नीरज ने। कविता का नाम है कारवां गुजर गया। स्वप्न झरे फूल से, मीत चुभे शूल से, लुट गए सिंगार सभी बाग के बबूल से, और हम खड़े खड़े बाहर देखते रहे, कारवां गुजर गया गुब्बार देखते रहे। नींद भी खुली न थी कि हाय धूप ढल गई, पांव जब तलक उठे कि जिंदगी फिसल गई। पात पात झड़ गए कि शाख शाख जल गई, चाह तो सकी निकलना पर उम्र निकल गई। गीत अश्क बन गए, छंद हो हवन गए, साथ के सभी दिए धुआं पहन पहन चले, और हम झुके झुके मोड़ पर रुके रुके, उम्र के चढ़ाव का उतार देखते रहे, कारवां गुजर गया गुबार देखते रहे। क्या शबाब था कि फूल फूल प्यार कर उठा, क्या स्वरूप था कि देख आईना से हर उठा। इस तरफ जमीन और आसमां उधर उठा, थाम कर जिगर उठा कि जो मिला नजर उठा। एक दिन मगर यहाँ ऐसी कुछ हवा चली, लुट गई कली कली कि घुट गई गली गली, और हम दबी नजर देह की दुकान पर, सांस की शराब का खुमार देखते रहे, कारवां गुजर गया गुबार देखते रहे। आंख थी मिली मुझे कि अंश अंश बीन लूं, होंठ थे खुले कि चूम हर नजर हसीन लूं। दर्द था दिया गया कि प्यार से यकीन लूं, और गीत यूं कि रात से चिराग छीन लूं। हो सका न कुछ मगर शाम बन गई सहर, वह उठी लहर कि ढह गए किले बिखर बिखर, और हम लुटे पिटे वक्त से पिटे पिटे, दाम गांठ के गमा बाजार देखते रहे, कारवां गुजर गया गुबार देखते रहे। मांग भर चली कि एक जब नई नई किरण, ढोल की धुनुक उठी ठुमक उठे चरण चरण। शोर मच गया कि लो चली दुल्हन चली दुल्हन, गांव सब उमड़ पड़ा बहक उठे नयन नयन। पर तभी जहर भारी गाज एक बह गिरी, पुछ गया सिंदूर तार तार हुई चुनरी, और हम अजान से दूर के मकान से पालकी लिए हुए कहार देखते रहे, कारवां गुजर गया गुबार देखते रहे। ओढ़ कर कफन पढ़े मजार देखते रहे। एक रोज एक गह चांद जब नया उगा, नौबतें बजी हुई छठी डटौन रत जगा। कुंडली बनी कि जब मुहूर्त पुण्यमय लगा, इसलिए कि दे सके ना मृत्यु जन्म को दगा। एक दिन न पर हुआ उड़ गया पलास हुआ, कुछ न कर सके शकुन न काम आ सकी दुआ। और हम डरे डरे नीर नैन में भरे, ओढ़ कर कफन पड़े मजार देखते रहे, कारवां गुजर गया गुबार देखते रहे। That's it. Thank you so much, Harita and Maya Katha, for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you, Chandra. It was awesome listening to you. If you're interested, you can give us an English translation of this, maybe in a brief, for the benefit of everyone. Chandra, you're there?
Yeah, very much here. Basically, what the poet is conveying is, we watch life through our eyes, waiting for the opportunity, but then opportunities just slide away and we just watch in regret, with sadness, waiting. Wish I had done something about it, wish I had not waited. So that's the message he's conveying, that life goes on and we just watch away with regret.
Thank you, Chandra. Thanks for sharing that with us. Next, we have Kirti ma'am. Kirti ma'am, can you just tell a brief about yourself and share a poem with us?
Just give me a second.
Sure, ma'am.
Hey, are you able to see me?
Yes, ma'am, we can say.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Preeti here. Thanks for the last minute entry, Harita. And thanks to Mayakatha also. I'm an ex-IT professional who turned into a teacher and a busy mother of two. This lockdown brought out the poet in me, probably. I started writing last year when the lockdown started, and I have been continuing to write. My poems, what my friends tell, basically connects with what we see in life or what we see in everyday life. So, with my experience as a teacher, what I felt, I have penned down a poem regarding that. So, I would just want to recite that. I hope it is nice and would appreciate your feedback. So, I'll just start off. The poem that I'm going to recite is Different Strokes, written by me. As a teacher, I've seen a lot of children who probably are labeled or tagged just because they're a little different. So, from a child's point of view, how he feels when he or she is tagged or labeled is what I try to bring out through my poem, and probably to create an awareness, to give them some more time and to take time to understand them. That is what my poem conveys. So, here I am. Different strokes. Those tender eyes, full of hopes and dreams, seem to tell a tale, the tale of life they live. We are different, they say, different from you and me. It needn't be physical always, as we are different other ways. Some of us like to read, some like to paint, some need to be cuddled, and some can't sit tight. Words look dangerous, numbers too scare us. We try to maintain a distance, and as sometimes people seem a menace. Take time to understand us. Give us time to adjust. Don't hasten to tag us, as the tags forever exist. Thank you so much. That was my poem. I actually didn't expect to be called so soon, so I had not really prepared anything. So I'll just stick on with one now, and probably I'll take it up next time. Thank you, Harita, and thank you, Mayakatha.
Thank you for joining us today. Enjoyed it. Thank you. Next, we have Preeti Warrior. Preeti is one among the winners of TOI Write Season 1 for the famous author Anita Nair. Her work can be found in anthologies like Arising from the Dust, Born Too Soon, A Kaleidoscope of Asia, Sharing Lipstick, and Shattered. She's a regular blogger with Mompresso, Women's Web, Let's Make Stories, Dino, Beyond the Box, Sharing Stories, and Chrysanthemum Chronicles. Preeti, can you join us and share a poem?
Hi, can you see me? Can you hear me, Harita? I'm audible?
You're clear, Preeti. We can see you.
Yeah, and can you hear me? Shall I start?
Please start.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. So thank you, Harita. Thank you, Meera, for including me in this wonderful platform, Maya Katha. I'm so honored to be, amongst all these great poets. I'm not that much of a poet, but there's something I tried by myself. So this poem I had written, it's written by me only, and I had posted it last year on Facebook in the Asia Pacific Eco Poetry Festival. So the title of the poem is A Drop of Appreciation, and it talks about something that might be more precious to all of us than money or all the riches in the world. A tiny word, a tiny gesture of appreciation perhaps could help us, go a long way. So here goes. She settled down after a hard day's work. The school building was huge and sweeping it tedious. Her day had been long and miserable. Dirty floors, murky corridors, benches, dusty and hideous. Tons of chores awaited her back home. Husband, parents, kids, and family. She sighed as she packed her bag, but then someone called out. She turned wistfully. Excuse me, could you help me close this window? A teacher fumbled. Reluctantly, she set out to perform this last duty. It's so far up, I need to stretch a lot, she grumbled. But close it she did. She couldn't be snooty. She turned to leave, but the teacher called out again. What now? Now she was indeed vexed. You have done a great job. Thank you. The teacher smiled. She smiled back, a tear of joy she repressed. She was suddenly happy and content. The stress and grief all washed away. Little did the world realize that there were some things money couldn't buy, like just a little drop of appreciation once a while. Thank you all. Just this one poem today. And thanks again, Harita, Meera, and Maya Katha for including me. Bye.
Thank you, Preeti. It was wonderful having you here with us. Thanks for coming. Next, we have Meera Venkatesan. She is a storyteller. She tells stories in English and Kannada, and she also conducts online storytelling classes. Meera ma'am, can you just give us a brief about yourself and proceed with the poem?
Yeah, hi. Hello, everyone. And it's wonderful to be here to share my poems as a part of this. I have been associated with Maya Katha more as a storyteller, but I could say that I am a wannabe poet, if I can use the word. So I like to pen my thoughts, and I like to, and I'm really happy to have this opportunity to share them through Maya Katha. So thanks a lot, Meera Bharat. Today I just want to share a couple of poems written by me, and I would really appreciate your feedback on it. So here goes. The clatter of dishes, the clamor of thoughts, the clicking of heels, the cooing of tots. Can you hear them all over and above your overseas call? The heels of prejudice, the hands of injustice, the hammers of oppression, and the heat of derision. Have you felt them all, hidden behind your smiling wall? The dreams impossible, the drums of battle, the tusks of passion, and the degrees of learning. Did you dust them all, every of your strength, big and small? The will to stand up, the want to comfort, the wings to walk tall, and the ways to break free. Will you find them all and emerge for the curtain call? Can you, have you, did you Will you? My dear friend, question time is through. Embrace your answers and forget your taboos. It takes two to tango, that's true. But the two can be you and you. Your balancing act will surely find you. That was one about women. And now for the second one, this is again something that I sort of wrote when I decided to tell the poem here. A thought is but a dot in the fabric of time. How powerful can a dot be? A thought is but a whisper in the din of space. How loud can a whisper be? But why won't it fade? Why won't it get drowned? Why is it an indelible stain that spreads unchecked? Why does it linger in the air long after sunset? When the questions galore filled my mind, I looked within to see what I could find. Where does the thought start? What is its path? Its ferocious energy can spark a revolution, yet its deep empathy can lighten inspiration. As I searched, I found a seed, an egg, and a bird. A thought is a seed waiting to find its tree. A thought is a bird hidden in its egg. A thought is a chick trying to find its flight. It feeds on the ground left fertile by those who ruled on your mind before it. It looks for sustenance within to grow stronger, to survive for its stint in the world beyond. It then breaks free to find its own wings, growing in power, confidence, and strength. I looked mesmerized at the sight. How many thoughts have I frittered away thinking they were trivial? How many thoughts have I thought about, not realizing that they were trivial? Every thought feeds the other, and it can create a monument or a monster. A thought is but a dot in the fabric of time, a dot that holds the key to this life of mine. Thank you. That was it from me.
Thank you, Meera ma'am. It was so interesting listening to you. Love the way you narrated it. Thanks a lot for joining us today. Next, we have Ranjita Sachdev. Ranjita is based out of Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. She was a former journalist, now a professional storyteller, Sindhi linguist, Hindi educator, handwriting improver, and a library owner. She is on a mission to raise readers and to cultivate reading habits through stories. And today it happened to be the 10th of April, which is also a Sindhi language day. And she wanted to dedicate her poem to Sindhi language. Ranjita, can you join us and tell us a poem?
Yeah, I'm audible and visible to everyone.
Yes, Ranjita, we can see you, we can hear you.
Thank you, Maya Katha, for giving me this opportunity to share a poem on this special day, 10th April, Sindhi Language Day. Today, I'm going to recite a poem on by a Sindhi poet named as Sri Dholan Rahi. So here it goes. जय झूलेलाल मां रंजीता सचदेवा माया कथा जे हिन मंच पारां पंहिंजी दिल जी गहराई सां अवां सभिनीनि जी आज्ञा करे रही आहियां अॼु जे सुहिणे ॾींहं सिंधी ॿोली जे ॾींहं जूं अवां सभिनीनि खे लखे करोड़े वाधायूं सिंधी साहित्य ऐं भाषा जा अॼु जा हालात ॾिसी मूंखे महान कवि श्री ढोलर राही जी हिक कविता ध्यान में पई अचे त अचो ॿुधूं कविता जो उन्मान आहे वारिस मां रोज सुबह सवेरे सैर कंदे ॾिसंदो आहियां मां रोज सुबह सवेरे सैर कंदे ॾिसंदो आहियां कि कुतड़न के पारूथा फुल्का किवलिन के ॾियारो ॾींदा वेंदा आहिनि मूं सोचियो मूं वटि बि केॾा सिंधी किताब गॾु थिया आहिनि घर में रखण जी तंगी घर में रखण जी तकलीफ़ ऐं घर वारा खफ़े अलॻि आहिनि मूंखे हिकिड़ी तजवीज़ सुझी छोकी न सुबह सैर कंदे मां के किताब खणंदो निकरां, को सिंधी साईं मिले तो उनके किताब ॾियां। कुछ ॾींहंनि जी मेहनत खां पोइ, कुछ ॾींहंनि जी मेहनत खां पोइ हिकु सिंधी खे ॾिसंदे आखियुमि, हिकु सिंधी खे ॾिसंदे आखियुमि, साईं मूं ख़ासि तव्हांजे लाइ सिंधी किताब आंदा आहिनि, मूं ख़ासि तव्हांजे लाइ सिंधी किताब ख़ासि आंदा आहिनि, जो पाण पढ़ो, पंहिंजे ॿारनि ऐं यारनि खे पाढ़ियो। हू मूं शूके चवण लॻो, हू मूं शूके चवण लॻो, कंहिं चयो तव्हांखे, कंहिं चयो तव्हांखे सिंधी मां आहियां या सिंधी ॼाणा, मां सिंधी आहियां या सिंधी ॼाणा। ॾाढो नानो भल सिंधी हुआ, ॾाढो नानो भल सिंधी हुआ, पर मां भारतवासी आहियां। मूं कॾहिं तव्हांखे चयो, मूं कॾहिं तव्हांखे चयो त सिंधी किताब ॾियो, सभिनीनि जे सामनो साईं चई मूंखे सिंधी जो लेबल न चिंबड़ायो, सभिनीनि जे सामनो मूंखे सिंधी साईं चई, हे सिंधियुनि जो लेबल मूंखे न चिंबड़ायो। पंहिंजा किताब पाण वटि रखो, पंहिंजा किताब पाण वटि साठियो ऐं पंहिंजे ॿारनि खे वञी पाढ़ियो। काका मूं कहिड़ी ॾोह कयो, काका मूं कहिड़ो ॾोह कयो, मूंखे बख़्शियो ऐं हलंदा हलो, मूंखे बख़्शियो ऐं हलंदा हलो। मूं सोचियो अहिड़नि माण्हुनि खां त भला आहिनि कुबदाम कुत्ता, मूं सोचियो अहिड़नि माण्हुनि खां त आहिनि कुबदाम कुत्ता भला, जे पंहिंजी ॿोली में था भौंकनि, जे पंहिंजी ॿोली में था भौंकनि, ॾींदड़ जे अॻियां अची पुछ लोॾे शुक्र मननि, ॾींदड़ जे अॻियां अची पुछ लोॾे शुक्र मननि। सो मूं बि नेठ तजवीज़ छॾी, सो मूं बि नेठ तजवीज़ छॾी, पर हाणे आहे हिकु चिंता हिकिड़ी, पर हाणे आहे हिकु चिंता घणी, मूंखां पोइ छा थींदो, मूंखां पोइ मुंहिंजी किताबनि जो छा थींदो, कंहिंखे तिंजो वारिस सम्झां, कंहिंखे तिंजो वारिस सम्झां, ऐं केरु उहे अपनाईंदो, ऐं केरु उहे अपनाईंदो, केरु उहे अपनाईंदो। लख थोरा, जय झूलेलाल।
Thank you, Ranjita, for sharing a poem on Sindhi language. If you wish, you can give us a translation of the poem that you just recited.
Yes, actually, this poem is written by a Sindhi poet named as Shri Dholan Rahi. He was actually, he thought of a point that when he was going on a walk, he saw some of the people were giving rotis and breads to the dogs, and he thought of a thing that why don't I have a lot of Sindhi books I have kept with me, why don't I share my books with the different people who are Sindhi, who can read Sindhi and who are into the Sindhi community. But when he thought of giving those books to Sindhi people, but actually after partition, when Sindhi migrated here, we were not given a Sindhi state, or so for our own bread and butter, we lost our culture. So Sindhi is one of the endangered language this time, and our own Sindhi community people are not into speaking Sindhi. So this was a poem written by Dholan Rai. He thought, why don't I share my books? Once he got a man who was Sindhi and he shared his books to him. He said, why? I don't want Sindhi. I don't want to have these Sindhi books, and please don't call me Sindhi. So he thought that dogs are much, and please share to go with your books with yourself and go teach your kids. So Dholan Rai was ashamed of that man, and he said, this man, the dogs are much more better than these men who dogs come in front of us, and they say ki, if they get in return something, they wave their tail back, accepting and giving gratitude to the person who is giving. but for that person, he was said, who will read, but a special thought and a waving thought was in his mind that after me, who will read this book? After me, who will be the varis, and means who will be owner of these books, will be a waste of to write these poems. And these were some of the thoughts by Sri Dholar Rai. And on this special day, on this special day of Sindhi Language Day, I urge to all the Sindhi people that please accept your mother tongue, please accept yourself as Sindhi. And this is only the message I want to give by this poem from my side, from Sri Dholar Rai Sahib, to all the Sindhi people who are a part of Sindhi community. Please do talk in Sindhi. Please do teach your kids Sindhi. Otherwise, it will be a lost one. Thank you.
Thank you, Ranjita. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for sharing a poem. Next, we have a little. Yes, Ranjita, thanks. Next, we have little Shrija. She's a young storyteller. Shrija, are you there?
Yes. Warm greetings to all of you. I'm K. Shrija. I'm going to recite a poem titled Bangle Sellers, written by Sarojini Naidu. Bangle sellers are we who bear our shining clothes to the temple fair. Who will buy these delicate, bright, rainbow-tinted circles of light, lustrous tokens of radiant lives for happy daughters and happy wives? Some are meet for a maiden's wrist, silver and blue as a mountain mist. Some are flushed like buds that dream on a tranquil brow of woodland stream. Some are aglow with the bloom that cleaves to the limpid glory of newborn leaves. Some are like fields of sunlit corn for me, for a bridal morn, or are rich with the hue of her heart's desire, tinkling, luminous, tender and clear, like her bridal laughter and her bridal tear. Some are purple and gold-flecked gray, for she who has journeyed through her life midway, whose hands have cherished, whose love has blessed, and cradled fair sons on her faithful breast, and served her husband in fruitful pride, and worships the gods at her husband's side. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shrija, for joining us today. We enjoyed your recital.
Thank you, Auntie.
Thank you, Shrija. Next, we have Padma Priya Karthik. Padma Priya Karthik, are you there? Padma,
I'm here.
Yes, Padma, I'm just giving your introduction. Padma Priya is an enthusiastic story writer for children and a poet. She has secured 8th place in Rabindranath Tagore International Poetry Contest in 2020. She contributes poems to many anthologies and online magazines. Recently, she has received Sagar Memorial Award 2020 Certificate of Excellence for her Children's Story Society. Padma Priya, can you share a poem with us?
I'm very happy to take part in my katha. My poem titled The Casket of Love. Fluttering her delicate black wings, from tree to tree she swings.
scrutinizing every folk to build a castle for her folk. Looks hither and thither. She tiptoes gently, picks up leaves, dry twigs, bits of fabric subtly in her sharp, curvy black beaks. Off she flies, landing at the nest tree. Takes off the next moment. To and fro she flies like a needle and thread, back and forth, knitting the casket for her treasure. Real labor for love and only love. A cozy cottage of dry twigs amidst thick leaves, the inner carpet a blend of flowers and mosses. To the rhythm of breeze, the boughs dance. Nests remain secure and sound. Is it not love that holds all together? Is it not love that shields the fall when trees sway? I understand. She constructs not the nest, but a sturdy, soft casket of love. Thank you.
Thank you, Padma Priya. It was so soothing to listen to you. Thanks for sharing your poem with us. And this concludes the poetry event session. I hope everyone got a chance to recite their poems. And Mayakatha was started 1 year before, and now we are family members of 1,600 people in the group, Mayakatha group. You can join us. You can share stories and poems with us in Mayakatha group. And thank you everyone for joining us in such a short notice. It was wonderful celebrating the 100th day of 365 days of stories and poems in Mayakatha. Please keep sharing your stories and poems. You can record and send your stories and poems to our mail ID, Stories with Mayakatha. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, listeners. We will end the online session now. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Sridevi ma'am, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Anyone
everyone.
Before we conclude? Anyone wishes to talk before we conclude?
Yeah, Haritha, we should take a photo.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Sridevi ma'am, can you end the session?
No, it is still on. You can go ahead.
Ma'am, we can end the session, ma'am.